I too would like to say thank you to our Black Legging Society. And I want to acknowledge my brother over there, Tugger Palmer. All these years we've known each other since high school when he was a champion fancy dancer back in those days. So gentlemen, I want to say thank you. You always hold yourself and carry yourself with tremendous respect and integrity. How about a round of applause for our Cowboy Black Leggings? Doug, before you go, I want to say a little blessing on your behalf. And maybe you can get back there and tell Dave Archambault that as a brother and a friend, I respect him very much. It's good to see my sister over here. It's also good to see some of our Comanche tribal members. And that's the reason why I want to acknowledge you, Doug, because our Comanches last year created an organization called Comanches on the Move. And they went up to Standing Rock and they took our Comanche Code Talker bus. And when they got there about 6 in the morning, something like that, they were well received by the members of the Standing Rock community. They were treated royally. They met people from Japan, people from Canada, by different tribes. They said, you know, we are a Uto Aztec and language speaking peoples. And our people from the Great Basin, our Paiutes and our Utes and our northern Arapahoes, our relatives there, and our relatives from the south, the Aztecs, they were all there. 3 language stocks were together, and for the first time they've ever seen that. So I'm very grateful. So what I really want to do is say thank you to the Standing Rock community. I'm not here as a activist like I used to be back in the 70s. My sister Janelle, she knows those days back there, our AIM days. And we were a part of that way back in the days. But today we come to you on behalf of what is going on with the Standing Rock Sioux. Right here in Oklahoma, we're faced with a lot of dilemmas. We've got these sinkholes cropping up all over the place. We have earthquakes that we've never had before. How many of you have felt an earthquake? Raise your hand. 2 years ago, I was at the Riverwind. I went to the Riverwind. And I walked to the Players Club so I could get me a card and play the machines. And all of a sudden, the chandeliers started moving around. And my wife got really scared. And she said, "What's going on?" I said, "It's an earthquake." And she really got scared because she'd never been in an earthquake. And I haven't either. So there we were right there at the Riverwind. Boy, did we get out of there quick. But the whole thing is, this is what's causing our problems here today. And it's not going to go away. And what the Standing Rock Sioux is doing is they're taking a proactive approach to protecting the water, the land, the environment, and their ancestors. If you would look at what we're dealing with today, we inherited this. Now, I don't know how we're going to resolve the earthquakes, because anytime you take something out of the land, you deplete it, but you don't replace it with anything. Eventually, it's going to create a void. And when that void gets to the point where it's saturated with water, saturated with rain, it's going to collapse. And that's what's happening now. Last week, the Pawnee tribe filed a lawsuit against these oil companies. And they filed a lawsuit, and I'm really grateful for that. But that's not going to solve the dilemma. That's not going to solve the dilemma. If you were to ask who should be there to protect our rights, it should have been our ancestors. But when the oil boom came in, they were welcoming it just as much as anybody else, because our population, our communities, they needed that so much, because we had just come out of the Dust Bowl, and we needed that oil boom. So naturally, it benefited everybody. But now here we are. We have to solve this dilemma. Otherwise, these little children, these little grandchildren, they're going to be responsible for it. And I wouldn't want to put that on their shoulders. I wouldn't want to put it on their shoulders like what we have to deal with here today. We have to deal with these earthquakes and the other catastrophes that are yet to happen, but we know will happen. Who would ever think that Oklahoma would have just as much earthquakes as California? It would never have happened. It should not have happened.
We're having more.
But we got to deal with it, and somewhere along the way, if we don't deal with it, it's never going to get cleansed. So what Dave Archambault is doing, he's taking a proactive approach to protecting his environment. Dave and I served on the Native American Rights Fund Board of Directors a long, long time ago. And we were on this board of directors. We were the ones that filed lawsuit against the Interior Department, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, with regard to the Eloise Cobell settlement. And we won after all these years. How many of you got your Cobell claim? Any of you boys here? So that was a problem of government. They didn't do their job. Now, do you think the Army Corps of Engineers is going to do its job? No, it's not. So what has to happen is the Standing Rock Sioux tribe is now in the courts saying you didn't come and you didn't consult with us like according to the laws. So now we're going to ask that you close this pipeline down, and the lawsuit is just now beginning, and it's going to be a good fight. So it's not over yet. I want my son to come up here and help me with this burning cedar because we always pray. And I'm glad to see Beverly. Where are you at, Beverly? I just see the flag. All right. Doug, I want to say thank you for the Standing Rock Sioux's treatment of our Comanche people and all of our relatives that came from Oklahoma to go up there. And when they were there, they were treated royally. And Beverly you've been up there twice, haven't you?
That you gave us.
Yeah. So they were there, and when they got there like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it was an unusual belief. But down here, we as our Indian people, we use cedar because we have always been told by our ancestors when Jesus Christ was resurrected from this earth, God shed tears. And wherever those tears fell, cedar trees grew up. They never die. They live 12 months out of the year. They're always green, and they always have this purity with regard to the smell. I want you to have a safe journey, and I want you to know that because of the treatment that you give to us, I want you to give good words to my friend Dave, brother. And I want you to understand that wherever you go, we're thinking of you too. That water is life. And if it wasn't for water, we wouldn't be here today. And how many of you drank a glass of water this morning? By gosh, you go drink of water and you know it's going to really be good. So we want to say thank you on behalf of all of our people here in Oklahoma. God bless you. And I'm going to put some on your back because sometimes people say things about you behind your back. You have to be able to withstand that. And not only withstand it, but face it again. Thank you, Doug. That's what Denzel Washington says in that movie. means good people. So to all of you, Sanamana, you good people, thank you for coming up early this morning. Thank you for being here on behalf of the Oklahoma City Powwow Club. And I'm very proud of this Oklahoma City Powwow Club. And I'm really proud of all of you guys over here. We'll take that down by these men.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless each and every one of you.